Today you'll learn about composition of functions. Say you're given two functions of x. One is f and the other one is g. Then the function f circle g of x, which is equal to f of g of x, is called the composite of f and g, where the domain of f is in the range of g. Just to explain it further, consider these three sets of numbers. Say for example, the first set of numbers is the domain of g. Second is the range of g. Okay? Then this is the function g. Say for example, the function g says that 2 goes to 5. And then there's another function that maps the numbers in the range of g to the other set. Okay, say for example, 5 goes to -4 according to the function f. So this must be the range of f. And then the domain of f must be in the range of g. So this is the domain of f. It must be a subset of the range of g. So f circle g would be this. This is f circle g. Okay, that says that 2 goes to -4 straight. So that's how a composition of two functions looks like when you try to visualize it. For example, given two functions f and g, so f of x is equal to square root of x and g of x equals sine squared x, we find the following. Letter A, f circle g, letter B, g circle f, and letter C, f circle f. Let us answer letter A. So letter A, we want f circle g. Of course, f and g are both in terms of x, so f circle g would be in terms of x also. So by definition, this is equal to f of g of x. But what is g of x equal to? It's equal to sine squared x over here. So let's write g of x as sine squared x. Okay. Now we apply sine squared x to function f. So in the function f, instead of writing x, we write sine squared x. So we'll have the square root of sine squared x. Simplifying our answer, square root of sine squared x is simply sine x. So this is f circle g of x. Now let's go to letter B. Letter B is g circle f of x. So by definition, this is g of f of x. But what is f of x equal to? F of x is equal to square root of x according to the given function. Okay, now we apply square root of x to function g. So in that case, we have to write square root of x for every x in the function g. So that's going to give us sine squared of square root of x. Now this is g circle f of x. Now letter C is the composition of f to itself, f circle f of x. By definition, that is f of x. Okay, but what is f of x equal to? Again, it's equal to square root of x. Now again, applying square root of x to function f. So we write square root of x for every x in the function f, that is square root of square root of x. Now when we simplify this, this is equal to fourth root of x. This is f circle f of x. Another example, say you're given f is a rational function and then g is a polynomial function. Find the following. So for letter A, f circle g of x. Letter B, we want the specific value of g circle f at x equals 2. And letter C, we want the specific value of f circle f at x equals -1/4. And letter G, we want the specific value of g circle g at x equals 0. Let's answer letter A. By definition, f circle g of x is equal to f of g of x. What is g of x equal to? G of x is equal to x squared minus 1 according to the given function. Now we apply x squared minus 1 in the function f. So we write -1 over, so instead of writing x, we write x squared minus 1. Okay, that's already our final answer. This is f circle g of x. Now what about letter B? Letter B is the exact value of g circle f at x equals 2. So by definition, this is g of f of 2. But what is f of 2 equal to? F of 2 is -1 over 2, or -1/2. So going back to g circle f of 2, that's g of -1/2. So what is g of -1/2? So we substitute -1/2 in the function g. -1/2 squared minus 1. Okay, now let me continue some work here. Okay, so g circle f of 2 is equal to -1/2 squared is +1/4 minus 1. Now what is -1/2? +1/4 minus 1? It's -3/4. Okay, so this is g circle f of 2. You're not allowed to use a calculator, okay? So just simply write your answers in fraction form. Let's go to letter C. Letter C is the exact value of f circle f when x is -1/4. So by definition, this is f of -1/4. But what is f of -1/4? It's negative, so we substitute -1/4 in the function f. It's -1 over x, or x is -1/4. Okay, so how do we divide fractions? We proceed to multiplication after getting the reciprocal of the denominator. So the numerator is -1 times the reciprocal of -1/4 is -4. So what is -1 times -4? It's +4. So this is f of -1/4. Now this is not yet our final answer because we want f circle f of -1/4. This is just f of -1/4. So let's substitute that in the function f circle f of -1/4. So it's f of -1/4, where f of -1/4 is 4. Okay, now applying 4 again in the function f. So it's a -1 over x, where x is equal to 4. So it's -1/4. So this is f circle f of -1/4. Now this is our final answer. Now for the last one, letter D, g circle g of 0. Now by definition, that is g of 0. But what is g of 0? G of 0, according to the function, is 0 squared. So we substitute a 0 for every x in the function g, minus 1. So g of 0 is equal to -1. Now g circle g of 0 is equal to g of 0, where g of 0 is -1. Now applying -1 to the function g once again, it's a -1 squared. We just substitute it, -1 for x in the function g, minus 1. This is 1 minus 1 equals 0. This is g circle g of 0. This is our final answer.